Hey, what's up, everybody? Steve Schwartz here from LSAT Unplugged, joining you today to share why you should not be aiming for your target school's LSAT median score. Before I get into it, a little bit about LSAT Unplugged. We offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. Check out the link below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out. So LSAT medians and why that they are not the goal to be shooting for. I recently was speaking with a student, and as I often do, I asked the student, what is your target LSAT score? What is your LSAT score goal? The student replied to me, well, I want to aim for 165 because that is my target school's LSAT median score, meaning that half of students accepted to that school and attended scored above that LSAT median, and the other half scored below that LSAT median. So that's a pretty on-target goal to shoot for, or so the student thought. But here's the thing. One way to interpret that would be to say that if you hit that LSAT score median, you've got a 50-50 shot of getting in, because half the students who got in had a score below that median, half of them had a score above that median. If your LSAT score was at a school's 25th percentile, that would mean that the bottom quarter of students who got into that school and attended had an LSAT score at that range or lower. And if you were at a school's 75th percentile LSAT score, that would mean that the top quarter of students got a score at that level or higher. The thing you have to consider, though, is that schools want to raise their medians. They want to raise their median LSAT score, and they want to raise their median GPA. What that means is that you ideally want to be above their median, because if they then accept you, they will be raising their median. So you make yourself a more attractive candidate, a more appealing candidate, if your numbers are higher than their medians. What that means is that since schools are always looking to raise their medians, that the bar is getting higher and higher over time for the top schools. That is especially the case when there is a surplus or a surge in the number of people applying to law school, as often happens in times of economic hardship. We saw this in the 2008 financial crisis. In the immediate aftermath, more people applied to law school. We actually had the highest number of people applying to law school at that time in recent memory. The same thing happened again during the pandemic, starting in 2020, 2021, where we had the most competitive admissions cycle ever. And if we are going to enter another recession, which it appears increasingly likely that we will, given the recent round of tech layoffs, with tech being a bellwether of what will ripple across the rest of the economy, if there is a major recession, that will mean, once again, more people will apply to law school, which means there will be a larger number of people in the pool. More people overall means more people with low scores, but also more people with high scores. And class sizes at the top schools are relatively fixed. Of course, they do have some flexibility in increasing class size, but they can only do it so much and still maintain their air of exclusivity. So what that means is that more people applying, more people with top LSAT scores, more choices for schools. Another reason there are more people with high LSAT scores is because LSAT flex scores were inflated. For the entire period during which LSAC was administering the LSAT flex, there were far too many people getting high LSAT scores. This is because essentially LSAC messed up the curve on the LSAT flex. They failed to consider that people would have an easier time getting high LSAT scores when taking the LSAT from the comfort of their own homes without the distraction of proctors, test centers, and the like. They also failed to consider that people would have an easier time studying for the LSAT during the pandemic because people had more free time to study on average, since a lot of things were closed during that time. People weren't going out as much. They were able to sit at home, buckle down with the books, with online materials, and study more for the LSAT. A lot of those people have not yet applied to law school. A lot of those people have not yet attended law school. And so they are still in the applicant pool, meaning that LSAT medians are relatively higher than they otherwise would be. So when you consider what your LSAT goal score should be, you want to aim for a score above the median of the schools to which you are applying, since they are already aiming to raise their LSAT medians by default, And of course, they are acutely aware of the fact of LSAT score inflation, acutely aware of the fact that recessions lead to more people applying, meaning they will hold out for people with higher LSAT scores. Unless you want to be waitlisted for the duration of the application cycle, stressing, pulling your hair out, waiting to see what's going to happen with regard to your admission, you're going to want to have a relatively higher LSAT score to avoid all that stress and just get an admission earlier in the cycle. Additionally, if scholarship money is important to you, then it is important that you make yourself as attractive a candidate as possible. And since at this point, your undergraduate GPA is likely largely fixed, and since the process overall is primarily numbers driven, biggest things are GPA and LSAT. So if GPA is fixed, that largely leaves LSAT as the major area you can impact in terms of your admissions chances. If you want scholarship money, if you want a full ride, aim for the highest LSAT score possible. Rather than targeting a school's LSAT median, I would at least be targeting their 75th percentile. And I would always recommend, in fact, aiming for a 180, always aiming for the highest LSAT score possible. Even if you fall short, you'll end up with a pretty high score, much higher than you might have gotten otherwise if you were simply targeting a score that you considered reasonable. I recommend instead aim for an unreasonable score. Aim for your stretch goal, and you never know where you might end up. And if you would like support with your LSAT prep journey, my team and I would love to help you out. Check out the links below. Again, we have on-demand video courses, live online classes via Zoom, small group coaching, one-on-one coaching. Check out the links below to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out. And if you found this video helpful, please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really does help, and I really do appreciate it. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.